Hi, it's Alice, and I'm back with a market update for the Victoria Real Estate Board for November 2025. Let's go. So, I missed last month. You have my newsletter, you know my puppy dog is not well. And so, this is my domain. This is where I work now in the living room. And yeah, so she's kind of paralyzed in her back legs now, so we're just taking it day by day, but I am housebound other than real estate stuff, so that is my life. And we've got our Christmas tree up right over there, which is nice. It's very soothing. This will be my last update before the end of the year, so I'm just going to give you an update on what I'm seeing and feeling in the market. So the sales were down 18% in November versus last year. I think there was 451 sales that went through, and yeah, it's slow. It's a slower market. A lot of people right now seem to be doing the thing where they're either trying to get it in before Christmas so they can maybe put up a tree, or a lot of other people are just waiting it out. So it's kind of that tipping point, and December will most likely be a continuation of that. So I imagine it will be slow as well because of the holidays. And new listings in November were down 2% versus last year. So there was 820 new listings in November, so slower. I am finding, though, that basically any listing that I see come up, and I'll reiterate, I watch the middle ground a lot because that's where most of my buyers are shopping. They're shopping in the 1.2 range, a million range. So I watch those pretty closely, and I will say they are new listings, but then they also become reduced listings, and then they become a new listing again when they're canceled and relisted. So yeah, I think new listings will probably pick up quite a bit in the springtime, but right now I feel because the sales are slow, the listings are also slow. Like, I would not be choosing to list in this market. I might be, but not because I want to be. But anyways, let's look at active listings. Active listings were up 11% versus last year. So there was 3,152 active listings at the end of November. So pretty darn close to the 4,000 range, which is a good, healthy inventory. The sales to listings was at, I want to say 17% for sales to listings means that it's tipped into a buyer's market. And the line on the graph they show is 20% in the VREB update, and it was below that. So I think we've actually tipped into buyer's market territory, and the activity that I'm seeing, it definitely mirrors that. So I could probably safely say we're in a buyer's market right now, at least in my opinion, which is good if you're a buyer. If you're a seller, again, you might want to wait till spring. So let's tiptoe over to home sales. So sales were down, I'm using my notes this time, 8.4%. And home sales have been going up or remaining steady for most of the year. So that is reflecting the slowdown right there. And that's November. So we're going to see in the new year what December did, but I can almost guarantee you it will also be slow. So 241 homes sold in Victoria in November. And the benchmark home price, 1.276 million, and that was down 2.8%. So that's actually the bigger drop that we've seen for benchmark home price year over year in probably the whole year. So take that for what you will. Average price is 1.249 million, and that was up 1.6%. So home sales are slow. Again, you will see them list and relist. So if you see something you like, but you don't have to buy it, you probably want to wait and see if it relists for a lower price, because it probably will. And if you own a condo, you're not going to love this one, but condo sales were down 36% in November, and there was 119 units sold. So if you don't have to sell your condo right now, I probably would not. Just my 2 cents. Benchmark price for condos actually was up, though. So it was at $553K. It was around $549, I think, last year. So I don't know why the prices are going up on condos when the sales are so terrible. I think it could be because perhaps you're seeing more 2-bedroom units listing and not so many 1-bedroom, and that would be a higher price point. Townhomes also were down 26.7% in sales, which is no bueno. And manufactured homes, there's normally not very many sales of those. So when I say that the mobiles were down 36.5% in sales, that means there was 5 sales instead of probably like 8. And so otherwise, for the market in general in Victoria, as I said, lots of listings coming up. It's slower now because nobody's listing before Christmas. Like, that's crazy work. But they list, and then, as I said, if you're buying and you're not desperate, you might just wait and see if they decrease, relist, and rinse and repeat maybe 3 to 4 times, because I'm watching the market very closely, especially certain properties I watch, and I see them come up in my feed probably 5 or 6 times before they actually sell. So the first listing price is very, very rarely going to be the one it ends up anywhere close to. So just so you know, if you're shopping even with another realtor, you might simmer on some properties there. So tough time for sellers. Also, there's a lot of opportunity to put in subjects and time for due diligence and all that. So it truly, in my mind, it is a buyer's market. For me, there have been numerous occasions where I am representing buyers, and sellers have been willing to make concessions on things and wait longer for certain subjects. I don't want to be too specific, but to a shocking level where I'm embarrassed to ask for as much time as we've asked for, or as much favors from the sellers we're asking for, and they're still saying yes because they're so scared of losing their buyers. So I don't like asking for too much, but it's almost like it's too easy at this point, because sellers are scared of being stuck on the market. So yeah, if you have been waiting to buy, if you want to buy at a good price, Christmas time in probably the worst market I've ever seen would be a very good time to buy. I'm just saying. On a positive note, my clients have lots of babies, and I'm finally seeing the fruits of our labor, and people are moving in, and their babies are going to take first steps in those houses, and it's really rewarding to see. So there is a silver lining at the end of all that. So other news in general, obviously we're at 2.25% for the policy rate for Bank of Canada. Apparently it's going to be like that through 2026. So that's kind of is what it is. Is the market going to skyrocket next year? I don't think so, honestly. Could it get much worse than it is right now? Like, this is the worst I've ever seen it in 8 years in business. It could, or it could pick up. Spring normally picks up, but TBD. We will see. I will tell you if it does pick up or if it crashes. Also, so for foreclosures, I've been watching those, and right now what I see is there's about 38. And I think that was darn close to the last time I checked. I'll put the link in the description below if you do want to see what foreclosures are out there. Nothing too great, but you know what you do see is a lot of vacation style homes on Gulf Islands and in Yubu, and then vacant lots, which obviously people were going to develop, and then that went a poopy. And then just some monster homes that people can't afford. Also in foreclosures, I'm sure you've been seeing that GTA has had, I've heard up to 10% of their listings are actually foreclosures or power of sales. I'm not sure if that's accurate for November. I think that was for September, but like the number was in the hundreds, and it's pretty devastating for a lot of people. I'm hearing people are leaving the country because they're losing everything. So not great. And the Canadian Bankers Association also published a study that we're at the highest amount of arrears in Canada for the past 5 years. So September was the highest amount, and that was up 4 basis points. So basically people are falling behind on their mortgages. HELOCs are at almost all-time highs. The other thing with people using HELOCs, you'll see a lot of articles about that, how HELOCs have really gotten out of control, but consumer debt is lower, it's softer. So I think people are maybe tightening their belts, but their real expenses are coming from their home. Or, even I know personal people who are taking HELOCs because they can't afford a roof, things like that, home repairs. So I think people seem to be fairly stretched these days, but perhaps they're slowing down on buying Amazon purchases. My 2 cents. The other thing I've been noticing is everywhere I go, I see developers running ads now, like local developers. I'm not going to name any names, but big developers in Victoria that are running sales, and they're running advertisements. Like, I was in a movie theater and I saw one of them running an ad for their development, which I lived in the development years ago, and it's a big one. And I'm thinking, why do they need advertisements? They never did before. If you want a sign of the times, yes, keep your eyes and ears open, but I'm a realtor and I get all these special promo emails from developers, so I do see more of it, I suppose, than other people. And in the news you're seeing in Vancouver, there's developers that are going belly up as well. So not good times. The new home price index, I want to say, basically was saying that the cost of building a home has outpaced the cost of the land. And so basically it pushes down the prices of new homes. And I think that was the lowest since 2009. So not a fun time to be a developer right now, but maybe some good deals for you if you're buying. But so that's basically it. I think there is a lot of doom and gloom about the real estate market, but I still have lots of people looking to buy. I'm not finding people slowing down. I'm not finding people scared of jumping into the market, and people I'm helping are looking, honestly, I hope that I sell the house when they pass away and their kids have to call their crusty old realtor to come sell it, because that's the vibe, is long term helping this amazing couple buy a Victorian style house, which is gorgeous. And I said to them last night, I said, you know what? I hope that one of you dies and then you haunt the house and the other one of you stays and becomes like the cat lady in the neighborhood, and like all the kids are scared of this Victorian house, and I hope it like becomes all decayed. That would be so cool. And I'd be the person who sold them that house like 60 years before. You know, that's the vibe of people buying right now, though, is very long-term purchases. So nobody is sitting around investing in second properties that I'm seeing. All my people they're ride or die with the house they're buying. So, and I think that's pretty good. And if you're selling, clean up that house real nice. Do not come half-hearted. You will be reducing and reducing. Honestly, pricing too low at this point, I'd probably still stick with a bit higher and let the market beat you up a little, because I don't see the point in starting low, because I think buyers are just going to come lowball you anyway. If you are thinking of selling, do build in enough time. If you have to sell, for the love of God, do not leave it until like 2 months out, 3 months out. Like, give yourself as much time as you can, because you could be sitting on the market for months, especially if you are in a situation where you bought something and you need to get a certain amount back out of it. You might not. Quite frankly, I'm seeing a lot of people, when I go through the pending listings, people have bought things in 2022 for way more than they're selling for now. So just be aware that it might not be worth what you paid for it. And I'm so sorry, but fair warning. That's it for me until the new year. So yeah, I'm going to be here. I am doing home care with my dog and doing real estate from the couch. So yeah, I hope you have a great kiss. I hope you have a great Christmas, and I hope you gain a lot of weight, make a lot of cookies, eat a lot of food, and spend time with good people, right? Because that's what it's all about. So if you need anything, get in touch. If you're not in touch by now, we're not buying before Christmas, so don't do that. But in the new year, I'm here, and we'll chat, and have a great time. Happy holidays.
Here it says, Merry Christmas. Just a Happy New Year, too. It's a Happy New Year. It's a Happy New Year. Yeah. Say bye.